Catching up now with our Western Eyre Netball correspondent, Reanna Freeman. How are you going, Reanna?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just been looking through the scores from the weekend just gone, and it looks like things are getting pretty exciting in the Western Eyre Netball Association.
Absolutely. Look, we couldn't really ask for a closer season. Obviously, only the fourth game of the year, but all teams sort of seeming to hit their stride and get a good game on the court, and it's making for some really good games.
Absolutely, and Thevenard are on top of the ladder at 3-0 at the moment. Wirrala also sitting at 3-0, so it's pretty hard to pick a winner of the season at this stage. I suppose that's why we have a long season, but let's get into the games from the weekend. So Thevenard staying undefeated, but only just with a 39-33 win over the Western Tigers.
That's right. So only 6 goals in it. Both teams not with a completely full lineup. Westie's Java Shippard, I don't know that she's actually hit the court this year. She sort of hurt her ankle maybe in the pre-season. I think she played B grade on the weekend. So they're still without a full team, but had Harriet Appleby come in and play for them at wing defence. Harriet hasn't actually played, I think, for 3 years and didn't have a huge pre-season as she was overseas. So I think she was out to prove herself, and from all accounts, I hear she played a beautiful game at wing defence. Both her coach and Sevi gave her a rap and said that, made a huge impact. And at that wing defence is a very hard position to play, and she played it really well. Sevi without Cass last week. I believe she's maybe an ankle, just a little bit of a stinger that they're just trying to rest her being so early in the season. So that's seen Courtney Trowbridge and Tracy Miller play goals together. Tracy, I don't think we've given much of a rap this season, but an outstanding player. Previously played for Kaniba, hasn't played for 1, maybe 2 years. So really good to see her back in goals. Both those players very smart, move a lot, so that might be a little bit different for Westie's defence to come up against. But I hear from all accounts they played a beautiful game and shot really well. I think it was a margin of 9, so Sevi sort of come out firing 6-15 in the first quarter. Half time, Sevi were up by 8. And then in the third quarter, Westie's just had really good down court pressure the whole way down and got back within 5. And I do believe in the last quarter they got within 2 goals with Sevi. And then Sevi sort of just pushed out with their experience and ended up winning by 6. So absolute cracking game from both teams. And honestly, is really exciting to see what the year's going to bring with everyone putting their best foot forward. And good to see Durrani back feeling confident under the ring. She shot 75% of Westie's goals for the game, and she started a goal attack. I'm not sure whether she stayed there for the game, but a goal attack that shoots 75% of the goals in a game is outstanding. That's normally your dominant shooters, normally your goal shooters. So they're mixing things up, and it's working for them.
All right, exciting stuff there. And in our other game, even closer, Wirrala 52, Ceduna Blues 50. And this is remarkable because you've got Wirrala who are undefeated and Ceduna Blues who are winless. So just the 2 goals separating them really goes to show how close this league is at the moment.
Absolutely. And 52-50, so that's 102 goals for a total of netball between a second on the table and bottom of the table clash. So that just shows they've both got plenty on the court and lots to give. I was told, although it was 102 goals for the game, it was still a very defensive game. Hollywood's played well up her end, sort of plays up the goals end and sort of set things up that end. And then up the other end for Blues, they had Georgia Lambeth, who's a beautiful defender. I believe Sophie Kellett started in goals. And then she told me herself she benched herself. She wasn't having a great game. We had a laugh about that Tuesday night. And I believe that, Georgia Lambeth is a beautiful player. She's got the ability to both play on the body but also read the ball. So she's always a hard defender to come up against. So Wirrala most definitely would have had to have made a few changes to allow for that. Amber Woods played for Wirrala in wing defence, only a young player, and she seems to be getting stronger and stronger every year. She was their best. 2-goal win. Wirrala obviously wanting a little bit more of a convincing win over Blues, considering where they were both on the ladder, but I think it just proves what sort of season we've got ahead. And Blues, although disappointed they couldn't get that 2 goals and get over the line with a win, but very happy considering they didn't have Talene Ettridge, who was away at work, and Taylor Collins was ill. So 2 players still come back into that side and only losing by 2.
And the Hawks had the bye last weekend, and then coming up this weekend, it'll be the Western United Tigers with the bye. And if you thought that was an exciting round of netball, wait until you see what round 5's got in store. We'll start off Thevenard versus Wirrala. Both teams undefeated. Something's got to give. Who's going to be the team to suffer their first loss for the season?
That's a really hard call to make. I'm not sure whether Cassie's back this week. She's obviously a big out with Sevi, but one thing they do have this year is depth. Those three girls, three goalies, are going to be outstanding. And Courtney Trowbridge, always reliable, beautiful feeder and goalie. So I think they'll do really well. Some key matchups, you'll have, Nikki Sleep and Lindsay Denton, who play in defence really well and are very spatial. And they'll come up against Emma Willis, potentially Soph Kellett, whether she's in goals or back in defence. And Jazz Billing plays a bit of goals as well. So I think there'll be some key matchups down the court. And then you've got Marnie Trowbridge through the centre, and she is always a bit of a force through that centre and can certainly make a difference in the game. So I think this is going to be a really close game, and I really want to sit on the fence and not tip someone, but that's not normally my way. Look, I think Sevi have put in a lot of work in the pre-season, and I think Wirrala are still trying to work out their best combinations. So for that fact only, I'm going to go with Sevi, but I wouldn't put anything past either of these teams. They're both outstanding lineups.
Sounds like the safe tip there might be to tip a draw. That one's going to be a great game. And then our other game for the weekend, we've got the Hawks and the Ceduna Blues, both looking for their first win.
Indeed. Blues, I believe, have got both girls back this week, so that'll be two big ins for them. It also gives them a bit of versatility and a bigger bench lineup. Hawks playing with 7 A-graders on the court this week for the first time this season. We've sort of been short every week. Maddie Nicholson's back from overseas, has really only had the one training, so hasn't had much time on the court and might take her a few games to warm up, so that might make a difference in this game. But I'm certainly excited to have, those 7 girls back on the court. Summer Braz, only young, playing in centre for Hawks, who's been playing a brilliant season and only getting better every week. And Shannon Johnson, she'll line up this week, possibly in defence, so that'll be a little bit different. I think Georgia Lambert, mentioned from last week, is generally, a goal defence role for Blues. Will match up against Rochelle Wheaton, and these two always go toe-to-toe. It's always a really good game to watch. So, look, I'm not going to tip against the Hawks because I coached them, and that's where my heart's at. But this Blues team, they lost by 2 to Wirrala, and I think when Hawks played them, I think we lost by 12, maybe? 17, actually. I've just had a look, 17. So if you went by that, Blues would probably go in favourites, but I'm obviously going to tip the Hawks girls.
Very exciting stuff here in the Western Eyre. We've had a 6-goal and a 2-goal margin over the weekend just gone, and then we've got the 2 top teams playing for their first loss essentially, and the 2 bottom teams playing for their first win. So really exciting stuff going on here. Reanna, enjoy the netball this weekend, and good luck to your Hawks.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.